Hey, welcome to May the Zoo be with you. We have a little bit of a somber start today. Our community has lost one of our own. We want to make sure that the Titan TCG community knows that May the Zoo be with you is fully in your corner. Our thoughts are with Mike, his family, his friends, and those that loved his game. For those of you that don't know, the founder and the head and the brains behind Titan TCG unexpectedly passed this week at Collecticon. And it is absolutely tragic. Died way too young, 44 years old, I think. And I know we all have friends who work for Titan, and they're great guys, and Mike was a great guy. And we're really sorry to hear about your loss. And if any of us can do anything to help you, we're here for you. Let's show some love for Titan TCG community in the comments section. Let them know that we're all thinking about them.
Yeah, super tight-knit community too. It's always a game that I just constantly saw on my Facebook feed from Facebook friends talking about it and being involved in it, and super just sad. It's just a community that's hurting right now. So we're here for you guys. We're with you guys. You're not alone. You got people to talk to. And make sure you reach out to us on Facebook or Discord or wherever you need to if you need somebody to talk to.
Yeah. And not just us, anyone in the TCG space, in the TCG communities, whatever the game, at the end of the day, guys, we're all just nerds doing the same thing with different pictures on the cards, right? So, I mean, we're all here for you and we feel for you.
Yeah. We're really sorry this happened to you. I think they're trying to continue the game, and we want you to know that we'll support you, and if we can do anything to help you figure out next steps, we're an open door. Whatever little help we can provide, we'd be happy to. Whoa! Welcome to May the Zoo be with you, America's most eBayist TCG podcast. I am, of course, joined by the man who makes more than Jeffy B himself, Josh from Hometown TCG.
Not Louie?
Louis definitely doesn't make more than my boy Jeffy B from Amazon.
I just make $12.50 an hour, baby.
Hey, that's 50 cents more than I thought I heard you make. I am, of course, joined by the man flipping burgers on the side, Louis DeGeorge.
No truth to that. I don't think I would succeed in that.
They're really good burgers, though.
Well, you're not succeeding in this either, in fairness, so it's a little bit complicated.
That's good. That's great.
All right.
And we are George. We are joined by George.
We are Georged by Joy.
The man whose doctor tells him he's not allowed to exercise.
Facts. Thank you, doctor.
Oh, what a cop-out.
My exercise is eating Taco Bell, and it's the best exercise regimen I've ever been on.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to May the Zoo be with you, a Magic the Gathering podcast where we talk about Magic the Gathering and all the other TCGs.
We don't talk about that this week. We are only talking about eBay. This is an eBay podcast that sometimes covers Magic the Gathering and other podcasts.
This video is sponsored by eBay, the owner of everything in the universe.
We should have looked up the slogan before the pod. We should have looked up the slogan.
All right, today we are chatting about the eBay merger with Channel Fireball and TCG Player and Binder POS and
TCG
probably Amazon in a couple weeks. We're going to talk about the Dominaria Commander decks. We're going to talk about Tim winning it all in Genesis. Shout out to Kitchen Table TCG Discord server. Cryptic has comics coming out Friday and a big event coming up in a weekend. Sorcery is absolutely on fire on eBay. It all comes
I love
together.
how mad it makes George.
Oh, it comes together. And then eBay also has lunchboxes for MetaZoo. Yeah. So it's an eBay.
This follows.
This is all eBay.
We're an eBay podcast that sometimes covers TCGs. It's what Bruno always wanted.
All right, let's hop in. eBay buys everything. So a couple of months ago, for those of you guys who didn't know, how long was it? Like 2 weeks?
A couple months ago. That's fine.
Channel Fireball and Binder POS were purchased by TCG Player, and it was great. It was great. We all thought it was really good.
I did The King is Dead. I danced around my studio a little bit.
Yeah, we all didn't like Channel Fireball, and now we don't have Channel Fireball. But now TCG Player has been acquired by eBay in the surprise thing of the century. Maybe the greatest and most like amazing TCG information ever.
I was not a fan. I was not a fan because the announcement dropped like 10 minutes before my content and crushed all my content because it wasn't about eBay and TCG Player.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree this is probably the biggest TCG news maybe ever.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to think of a more impactful news statement that has actually ever occurred.
Yeah, I agree.
And this is for a couple of major reasons for those of you following alone at home. This is your first time hearing this wonderful episode. You were Googling
alone at home.
You were Googling best podcast to explain the eBay merger. And of course, YouTube brings you to the best podcast.
First off, we're sorry that you found yourself here.
I'm also sorry you found Louis' channel. Just come back every Friday. That's when I'm on.
The second off, stay for a while. Hit subscribe. Enjoy it.
Can they hit a bell to notify themselves, Louis?
They can. Yeah.
Why don't you invite the like button to dinner? And then while you're at...
So... This is impactful, I would argue, for two reasons. First, to say dominant is too mild of a word. There is one dominant player in the single space now. And I'm not talking about singles in your local area. I'm talking about TCG singles.
Yeah.
The only singles we care about in this podcast.
Yeah. Not a fan of the other singles.
That's fine with me. I don't care what you do in your free time. Live your life, King.
What's happening?
This is also possibly a direct threat, a direct attack on a couple of other groups. One being our boy Jeffy B, who's Josh's best friend.
Gosh, you're just stealing my takes from when we just recorded and restarted.
From Amazon. And also, it could be attacking Whatnot.
Okay.
And we all have different takes on this.
And one of us is right. We'll let you decide. Let us know in the comments.
It's going to be great. You guys want to put some wagers? We like betting on this podcast. You guys want to put some wagers?
I'm already going to crush you.
I like how we've just become more degens since Josh came on. It makes me really happy, I'll be honest.
I bring it out. It happens.
All right. Josh, you were very focused on binder POS and the singles side of this. Give us your thoughts on eBay and what they may have wanted in that world.
What might be the least popular take on this podcast between you two bozos is I really think the focus of this is all about binder POS. And the first thing that came to mind that I let George know, because George answers my phone calls when I call him because he's a real friend, is
Facts.
there won't be a single TCG card that's sold online that moves where eBay doesn't have its hands in the deal in some way. Because after TCG Player buys binder POS, it already eliminated one way for stores to sell singles outside of the TCG Player ecosystem. It eliminated something. You could go to eBay, you go to TCG Player. Now there's others, there's Card Market, Card Kingdom, all that stuff for Magic and whatnot, but these are the main ones. Now that it's all under the eBay umbrella, eBay is going to get a cut of every single that moves for any TCG that isn't sold, hand to hand or through back channels and Facebook groups. That to me is huge because eBay has to put no work forward. They do nothing and they just take a cut of everything.
So
PayPal is getting a cut of all the Facebook stuff now, though. And I know they're not connected anymore, but they're kind of connected.
So Josh, like your basic argument is that this is probably a cash flow play. Is that right? That you think like that eBay bought TCG Player for the cash flow?
I think so.
Okay.
You're wrong. And I'm saying that in a bait, knowing exactly what you're going to say.
Listen,
because we had this conversation. But yes, I believe
I think you're right about a lot of that. I don't think binder POS is the reason. I think TCG Player as a whole sells way more cards than anything binder POS ever touched.
Sure, but
I get what you're saying. I get your point. So, as a single store, this terrified me. When I have over 1,500 sales a month on TCG Player. If you want to save me from paying those fees, you can go to CavDanesMarket.com in order to buy singles directly from
not being able to plug my website anymore is the biggest curse of my life. I want to make
this
sure
video contains a sponsored advertisement that may or may not be.
But as somebody who gets a ton of singles traded in and somebody who moves a ton of singles. I rotate singles out, 40, 50, 60 orders a day. I am terrified about this because I know that this ends in an increased fee structure. Now, here's the thing. It will affect me kind of. Who it's going to affect more, though, is the people who I'm buying singles from. I, as a business, will have to change the way that I buy or sell singles. As a consumer, you don't have that many options. The people who come into my store, they already don't want to sell singles on their own online. Like, they already don't want to put the effort in. They're going to be kind of screwed. They're not going to get to adapt at all. I'm probably going to have to pay less for singles because I'm going to be paying eBay more when they decide to raise their fees. I know TCG players said, they're not going to change anything. We're going to see lots of changes. We're probably going to see somebody buy eBay in like 2 weeks. So that's my gut. It's like, it's just
my buddy Jeffy B. Let's go.
Eventually,
eBay together.
Eventually, Apple's going to be like, "Hey, we own everything." And
shout out Apple Pod where you can find this podcast. But no, I think you're misunderstanding my point about Binder POS. The importance of Binder POS, I agree that the volume moved through Binder POS is minimal compared to the volume moved on TCG Player. My point with Binder POS is when it didn't exist under the umbrella of TCG Player, if any of the players in moving major singles made any drastic changes like you're suggesting with fee structures going through the roof, there was an option for most middle to high end game stores to support a website and sell singles through something else, right? There was this option. Now the TCG Player owns it all. There's no other option. Sorry, George, go ahead.
No, you're fine. My takeaway on the Binder POS part of this is just how much I think this now leaves room for new companies.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good take.
Binder POS sucks.
It's not a good take. I hear everyone saying this take, and it's kind of a good take, but it's go ahead.
Binder POS sucks. There's a reason it's called POS. And
I was waiting for that one. That was softball.
Like, there can be a better Binder POS. It's not rocket surgery. It doesn't need to go through TCG Player. This will only work for large stores. This will only work for stores that have the capacity to advertise online.
And this is why this doesn't work, because what TCG Player has is the critical mass.
No. Hold on, boo-boo. I'm saying that you can sell through the new Binder POS, the Binder POS 2.0, done by Bob and his gremlins.
By George.
Great. I'm great at programming.
I'm great at sound like an arcade at all.
I'm great at programming. Call me. And if they don't sell on my website, I can then move them to TCG Player. But there is absolutely room in this space now for a new company to enter and help stores sell singles through their websites. And you're going to see that. You're going to see that.
If you were going to see that work, it would have happened when Channel Fireballs tried it.
No, why?
Because Channel Fireball already had a large name. They already had people in Magic going to them directly, and they had the best opportunity of making that work, and it didn't. It didn't work at all. Now,
no. You're misunderstanding. You're not understanding. I'm not saying compete with TCG Player. I'm saying compete with Binder POS.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think I made that pretty clear if you were listening. Guess we're clear.
There was also a critical error in the Card Shop Live model, in my opinion.
Yeah, we all hated it. Like, I'm not going to give a bunch of my money to this guy who's dumping boxes at below my cost.
Card Shop Live model's critical error was they then competed on their own platform and undercut. They built the idea of their whole model was to take a cut from community sales. So to provide a service and take a cut for that service. They provided a service, they undermined that service, and then they raised the cut they took for that service.
Yeah.
That was the problem with Card Shop Live.
Right.
The platform was fine. It was how they handled the platform.
The platform was great. I thought it was better than TCG Player.
Yeah, but the way they utilized it, what they did was what broke.
Yeah, I agree completely.
So I agree that there's a lot of money to be made in this for eBay in singles. I think that is certainly something that they looked at. But I think that the entirety of this thing has way more to do with what I think is eBay's true competitor, which is Amazon. eBay wants to increase their collectible pull to compete with Amazon. I don't think that TCG Player was really a competition to eBay. TCG Player was a competition to one very small part of what eBay is. I think that this is a much bigger play, and I think the ultimate goal in this play is to get Wizards of the Coast and maybe Pokemon to go direct, not with Amazon, but to go direct with eBay and sell boxes. So instead of dumping boxes on Amazon, I think you're going to see either both or Magic just going to eBay.
Let me ask you this, Dr. Louie. Do you not think eBay could have just called whoever the heck runs WotC now and be like, hey, man, I want to buy 5,000, 10,000 pallets of your latest box. What can you do for me? Because I imagine the CEO of WotC takes that phone call, or CEO of Hasbro. So they could have done that before this purchase.
But then they have to get into the shipping of product. eBay doesn't do that.
So wait, how do you think this is going to work now?
Well, they convinced, I don't know, I guess they convinced WotC to handle
their product.
How does it work with Amazon?
Amazon ships the product.
Amazon just ships it directly from the warehouses.
So let me.
Well, they have TCG Direct now, so now they have warehouses.
I can't imagine that this was a real estate play.
No, but what I'm saying is now they have the capability to do that in the collectible marketplace.
I think you'd be on firmer ground if you said, here's one of the weirder takes I've got on this. You ready for this, boss? What if eBay's going to start being a distributor of the TCG space?
No.
And hold on, boo-boo.
That's two. Boo-boo. Don't get a third.
This kills the LGS. The whole.
Hold on. Yeah, we're not there yet.
There's nobody,
I don't think
nobody left to distribute to. The LGS is dead with this.
Us.
Yeah.
I would like the world to know Compete Sport still in business. Despite what you've heard on other websites, we still sell cards.
Come back next week to find out more.
If that goes that direction, that's the 10 years.
The phrase that you said that stuck out to me was eBay doesn't see eBay doesn't see TCG Player as competition. I think Amazon looks at eBay the same way. And
absolutely.
The statement I used to George is, I know about 20 to 25 people in my just life. That's the number of friends and people that I care about in my life. I have 3. All of them have ordered something from Amazon, and 3 of them have ordered something from eBay ever, and it's maybe once a year. It is, these things are not the same. eBay cannot come after Amazon. That's not a thing.
Well, that might be fair.
Let me pull up one thing here.
So, looking at and this is something I was doing while you guys were having your last conversation.
Amazon does $467 billion in revenue a year. eBay does 10 billion in revenue.
Were we all looking up the same thing during this conversation? I think we were.
Amazon is 40 times larger by that metric than eBay.
So eBay's market cap, what eBay is worth as a company, is $25 billion. Amazon is worth about that if you add $1 trillion and then some more.
Yes. So George and I looked up the same thing. Louis was on the outs. Okay,
There's a shock. Never could have seen that coming. eBay is a rounding error. So market cap to Amazon.
Let me ask you this. If you're Wizards of the Coast, you have 2 business models where one, you can sell to Amazon and they can distribute your product. The second business model is you can distribute your product on eBay. So Wizards of the Coast could go direct to consumer.
I want to propose something different than this. I want to tell you what I think eBay should have done. Y'all ready for this? You're not ready for this.
Are you listening to eBay?
This is amazing of me.
Hold on. This is sponsored by eBay, so if you get us banned, you're going to be in trouble.
You can't say this was amazing of me. You're supposed to let someone else say that, just so you know.
All my ideas are amazing.
The other day, he told me he wasn't prideful. I was like, that's the most prideful thing you've ever said.
I'm really good looking. It's one of the things that makes me so humble.
Yeah, you get it. eBay should have taken out a bunch of cheap debt and bought Hasbro.
I mean,
they're worth roughly the same. Before anybody ats me, don't at me. They're worth roughly the same, and I get that. But eBay probably has very easy access to very inexpensive bonds right now. Hasbro's cash flowing like crazy. They could have made a hostile takeover bid for Hasbro, bought WotC, and given our boy Jeffy B the middle finger.
So I mean,
I don't know how they just Jeffy B the middle finger.
Do you think Hasbro's for sale, or do you think just WotC is for sale?
Everything is for sale.
And we don't know that.
What's not for sale?
I have to say,
by the way, there's a great. Let me plug a great book. There's a great book called "What Money Can't Buy" from some very famous economist. Excellent book. Go buy it. You can buy it on Amazon.com or eBay.com. I don't care where, but it's a great book. Go buy it.
No, I mean, like I don't know the play of. I don't know the play. I'm not shocked by it though. I'm not shocked that TCG Player wanted to sell. This seems like
you're going to ignore my great advice.
I mean, your advice is fine. I mean, what do
your
you
advice was I didn't join this podcast to learn to read. Like,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Don't give me book recommendations. We know how that works.
It's a sensitive topic for him, Josh. Thank you.
So I don't know. Like, I think that it doesn't surprise me that TCG Player was like, I'm selling, because I bet you the metrics on TCG Player over the last 2 years are insane. Like, if you look at if you look at 2021 and 2020 and compare it to like 2018 and 2019, like their growth rate must be absolutely ludicrous, and they know that it's not going in the right direction right now.
Don't you think, and I'm not a big company, I'm not, wealthy superhumans like you guys. I'm just a normal guy here on a podcast. But don't you think that eBay took that into account when they made an offer?
Clearly.
No, I don't.
Oh, wait. This I was stunned by how cheap this company went for. Stunned.
That's what I'm saying. It was relatively inexpensive, even with the growth.
$325? Are you kidding me? I could not believe.
Why didn't you make an offer, George?
Yeah, it's a lot.
I didn't know they were for sale. I would not offer 25. I mean, I don't have 25 million. But I thought this would have gone for way more. Way more.
I mean, I just don't think for eBay.
I would love to know the multiple of profit and the multiple of revenue. I would love to know that. We won't know.
That's the number to me, because I still think that they have a finger in everything now. And if it grows to be something else, that's what this was to begin with. How much does CCG Player bring in a year? That's the magic number to me. That's what I want to know. I have no way of knowing.
I can tell you how much they bring in for me. It's a lot of money, and it's going to be more next year. All right, so let's do this. What does this do?
Very, very prideful.
What does this do for the people who are watching the podcast? How does this affect? How do we think this is going to affect the viewer of the podcast?
If you're watching this podcast and you run an indie TCG, first of all, welcome. This has opened up a ton of opportunities for you. And I think that's how you need to view it if you're CEO of an indie TCG. The part that Louis doesn't want to talk about is my thoughts on how this affects eBay Live and whatnot.
Listen, I mean, all right, hold on, we'll get there. Josh, how do you think it affects the consumer?
You said
it was, you were focused just on I agree with you. This presents opportunities for the indie TCG designer.
That's fine.
I don't think it does. We all just agreed this is horrible for the LGS. And the indie TCG designer builds their game. I mean, I've literally heard you guys say this person gets it. This person gets it. They're building their communities around the LGS. This person gets it. But if this idea is actively killing the LGS, it doesn't seem like it can be a benefit for them. Now, it could be a bigger platform. At one point, if they're good at marketing on their own outside of the LGS as an entity to get out to the people, then now they have a bigger stage to stand on with some brighter lights. But if they can't do that, they lost the primary soldiers that they have pushing their game.
Yeah, you are focusing only on the the games that we cover, which are the games that care about the LGS, because that's super important to George.
I'm sorry, I'm not giving our
us.
viewers information about games that we don't talk about. You're right.
But my point is that there are games.
Damn!
There are games
Served. Continue, Louis.
There are games that don't care about the LGS, that do very, very much care about eBay and about their secondary market and about getting promoted, that have had a hard time getting in on TCG Player. And now I think you have a road where anything can sell on eBay and eBay can track those metrics. It's just different. Like, I mean, I get what you're saying.
Is that better? Because anything can sell on eBay now. They could just be doing what they're doing now on the same platform.
Sure.
I'm again, not criticism. This is something you know far more than I do, so I'm truly curious how that would work. But yeah, to me, it just seems like they took away.
Where I see the opportunity. Let me go over let me I guess flesh out my thoughts. I think this is the worst news possible for Whatnot, and here's why. eBay Live now has direct access to Magic the Gathering product.
I think that's true.
And like, if you look at like Whatnot and Drip, and I'm guessing eBay Live, I don't really know, but like, I'd assume Magic the Gathering has been on a tear lately on these platforms, which makes sense. Magic's been on a tear.
Yep.
Like, if Magic's doing good, they're doing good. Pokemon's doing good, they're doing good. I mean, like, the big things that used to carry through on Whatnot were Magic, Pokemon, and MetaZoo. Those were the big three on Whatnot. That's kind of where they started. And that all changes now. Drip has already started to put a lot of pressure on Whatnot. There's just straight buying streamers. They're giving people lines of credit. They're paying people to go to the platform. Drip is already trying to put pressure on Whatnot.
Yeah.
Are you going on Drip, Josh?
I'm for sale. I'm just letting them know. I want them.
Oh, okay, good. So is Louis. It's $12.50.
I am purchasable.
This will now put additional pressure on them because they will now have direct access, in my opinion, to much higher and harder to get boxes.
So you're saying now eBay Live can take their boxes and give them and sell them to their eBay Live streamers at a discount for their streamers to make money
at distro or something,
at distro costs or whatever.
Yeah.
And they get the boxes not from TCG Player, but because of Card Shop Live.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I totally forgot about that road.
Very interesting. That's actually, I'll give you credit where credit's due. It's actually a decent take.
That's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. I forgot about that road.
It's actually a decent take. Congratulations.
All my takes are always at least somewhat decent. And like, here's
Louis, roll the clip.
So I somewhat agree with you that I don't think TCG Player is a competitor to eBay. I think we would disagree a little bit on the terminology, but that's not important. I think they viewed Whatnot as a major competitor.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And they're now saying, I can take away your bread and butter. Because TCGs are not the bread and butter of eBay.
No. Collectibles.
But they are the bread and butter of Whatnot.
So
Oliver agrees.
I think that what the viewers need to keep in mind is that eBay views the future, and they've said this, eBay views the future of commerce online as video.
Yes.
Reading a statistic the other day talking about how the online commerce community has been so slow to video. It used to be like 5% or something like that, and how fast it's increasing. And so I think that's actually a pretty good take. Good job, buddy. I think that YouTube needs to get involved in.
I think that's true. Hold on one second.
When you said this the other day, Louis, that was a great idea.
Like, YouTube needs to get involved in this stuff. Like, come on, YouTube, building a YouTube channel. Give me a way to do
YouTube
something.
owned by Google.
You guys surprised me with the amount of importance that these live video auctions and live video sales have in the market today. Louis, when you sent me the fact or the figure about Whatnot being 3.4 billion or whatever it was.
7, please don't speculate.
Sorry, 5.9 billion, 6.7.
We definitely,
I'm not going to say.
We definitely probably need Whatnot in the future, so don't get us banned.
Okay. Whatever it is, that blew my mind. And to me, as this idea is becoming more relevant to the normal person, right? The idea of live video auctions. If that is attached to eBay, I'll never get a chance to experience Whatnot because I know eBay. I know the name. It's something I'm familiar with. It's trusted. When I hear Whatnot as just a person walking the street, I think, is this a scam? What's going on? If I hear eBay's doing it, I know it's probably okay. I can probably stand behind it. So yeah, that blew my mind with the market share that has.
All right. I think that we said we were going to revisit the Channel Fireball acquisition. I'm sure that we will revisit this one as well, and lots of things to talk about in the future, but let's move on.
Is the Channel Fireball deal so the eBay, let me ask you guys this, big tinfoil hat time. Was the Channel Fireball deal done to push the eBay deal? Did TCG Player, were they in talks to sell and they acquired Channel Fireball to pump their numbers?
Like, was eBay like, no, we will only acquire you if you first finish this deal with Channel Fireball?
Well, now George just pointed out, it is technically distribution access. It is access to a lot of popular product at cost. Yeah. Like, maybe so, they said, also, hey.
I think the other part that we haven't covered yet is eBay now runs a lot of Magic events.
Yeah, that's wild.
Where they can now do their live streaming,
and they can now advertise like crazy. Yeah, this is a freaking brilliant acquisition.
Those advertisements are going to look so good too, because what sells on eBay? Black Lotus, Dual Lands, Power 9. That stuff still sells on eBay over TCG Player.
Of course,
those advertisers are going to look good.
This was such a freaking brilliant acquisition. It's like stunning to me. Again, I can't believe the price. The price I don't understand. How is TCG Player worth less than a tenth of Whatnot?
I would have
less than a tenth.
I'd have bought it.
I don't know.
Like, that's wild to me.
One of those things is not valued correctly. It's worth knowing.
Say it, Louis. Say which one. Get us banned.
Don't do it, Louis. Don't do it, Louis.
Get us banned from one of the two.
It's worth Whatnot. It's worth noting. I'm going eBay Live, baby. You can join me on eBay Live. I'm now a sponsored eBay Live creator.
We're doomed. Thanks for watching our last episode.
Anyway, I think it's also worth noting that we come from a Magic the Gathering background. I would love to. We should have gotten like a Pokemon expert on here because the Pokemon market is crazy.
Logan Paul's coming on next week. We can ask him then.
Perfect. We'll talk to Logan Paul next week. All right. Let's move on and chat about the Dominaria Commander decks. Josh, what are your takes on the Dominaria Collector decks as our resident player?
Commander decks. That's great. Collector decks.
First of all, this is going to surprise you. Pre-con Commander decks are the only way you should ever play Commander.
Oh, boo.
This is such a cool product. Pre-con Commander decks is an incredible product. And I know that because I actively join groups and play pre-con decks. It's the only way that you can sit down with a group of people and know that the environment is going to be fun and fair and no one is going to screw you out of a good time. This is the only pre-constructed deck in any game that I've ever bought that I've been like, oh, I'm going to leave this thing as is and just play it with my friends. So first and foremost, incredible product. The idea of
Amen, Josh.
Deck, great. Second of all, everyone whining about a 5-color commander. You just don't play Commander for fun, and you're out. Third of all, there's only 2. Why is there only 2? That's kind of a miss.
You're ruining my joke. You were supposed to say that you hate Commander, and you didn't even look at him. You're not supposed to actually know about Commander.
No, I am. No, first of all,
you're overachieving.
If I didn't know about Commander, I couldn't say that I hate it. I don't hate things I don't know about, Louis. I'm not Kitchen Table TCG.
Oh! Oh,
Wow.
2 for 2.
yes! God, Louis
Wow.
getting wrecked tonight.
That's
Guys,
fine.
thanks for having me.
Lord.
I've appreciated being here. We'll see
This
you
is
all.
No, you
no
can
way.
stay.
You're now.
You're staying.
This is
You're
why you're
staying.
permanent. This is why you're permanent.
Okay.
Oh
So,
my God.
First off, there's only 2 decks, which is not that
That's a
weird.
miss.
They do that for a lot of the sets. They only do 1 set a year that has all 5 or 4 or whatever it is now.
It's 4,
that
but
true?
I still, yeah, it's
But
2. It's a
wait.
miss anytime they do 2.
But hold on, I don't think that's true for the big decks. I think it's usually only true for the small $20 decks. These are the big $40 decks.
Innistrad only had 2. Crimson Val only had 2.
Yep.
You just don't know that, George, because they come in cases of 4 still, and all of your products still in your warehouse. That's what
X.
It's because I'm the only one buying them.
I don't
Thinking,
understand
oh,
what
these
you
are
want me to
cool,
do.
and the whole community is like,
Call
these are
Tyler.
dumb.
Tyler would know where the decks are in order.
Tyler would know.
Here's the thing about these decks. The reprint equity is absolutely atrocious. This is like the lowest valued commander decks I think I have ever seen in terms of reprint
Is it really
equity.
that bad?
Do you
It's
have the
bad.
values?
Well, so
offhand?
the values on MTG Goldfish have all the new cards in them and their price.
Are
Of
these
Yeah.
from your spreadsheet or are these from MTG Goldfish? That depends on how much.
Oh my gosh.
Listen,
Great.
guys,
Now we're
I can go do something else with my evening. That's fine. You two just want to hang out.
Please,
like
no,
all,
don't leave me. I
all
need
the
you.
values are based on like they have like all the new cards at like $15. So
Yeah.
it's the reprint equity that's just lacking there.
Like what's the deck worth? How much is a deck?
So there was a Reddit
It's-
thing I couldn't find it, but they're like $75.
And
which
it's
is like-
hard. No, it's with the new cards they're printing, all listed at probably $10 and above. Some of those are gonna tank to a buck. Some
Hold
of
on,
them are gonna tank
on
below
on
that.
MTG Goldfish it says $180, but a lot of those cards are $15. But George, you got to remember there's 100 cards in the deck. So if the price is $75 with the cards, that means the average card is worth 75 cents, which is
So
basically
what? A lot more worthless, right? They're commons.
right. My point is that all those commons add up to a value that's irrelevant.
There's a lot of 80-cent cards you'll never be able to sell.
Yeah.
You can't sell.
But you know what? The question I think for all these decks is, are they fun to play? And if somebody walks into the store, these
I will
decks
say-
usually,
I have a lot of people pre-ordering the rainbow deck.
they also come with a collector pack promo card thing, which is
Okay,
cool.
cool.
Forgot about
I
that.
think-
That was a big smart thing they did.
Yeah.
Good job, Watsy. That was really, really smart.
Did
of them.
it affect the price of the product at all?
No.
I
It's so-
don't know. Well, they
but
raised
if
the
it
price.
affected it $3 or something, like
They
$5.
they raised the price already, but then they added stuff. Anyway,
Oh my God! Somebody's gonna build a tabernacle from a commander deck.
From a
and
commander
lose their
deck?
mind.
I don't think you can.
Why?
It's like a sample pack, so it's like not.
So-
I don't think the same. It's not like a full pack.
No, but I think
So
you get
Louis-
3. I think it's like half a collector pack, isn't it?
Wait, is it?
I think so.
I don't know exactly what's in it, but
Mark Rosewater, put in the comments below for right or wrong, will you? Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it, buddy.
We're definitely in his podcast rotation.
We
I
are
think
his rotation.
I think that the decks look fun to play. I love 5-color stuff. My first
Yeah.
Magic deck ever was a 5-color deck. Yeah, it was horrible. I think 5 colors cool. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to play them. We're starting a live commander stream, everyone, probably in a week and a half. Well,
I'll be there.
know the exact date.
Me too.
And eventually we're going to do these. The 2 of these guys are not going to be there, but here at the house, I have put a ton of money,
You
a lot of
sank
money.
a ton of money into
Like
this.
$6,500 into equipment to have cameras and run a rig all the way over to this room to the computer. I'm gonna pay somebody to be back here live switching during Commander, so it'll be kind of like, think of Command Zone but way worse, but live. Live. So it'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
So
we're
let
gonna
me ask
do
you
these
this.
decks eventually.
Let me ask you this: as someone who toes that line between like playing Commander and also owning an LGS, do you think it would be more valuable if every time these released there was 3 or 4 of them? Because right now
No.
it's if you've got a commander group in, it's easier for me to sell that group saying, hey guys, this could be a fun experience. Because we talked a lot about the value, but the value of these to me is in the experience when you open them up and play them in the ecosystem in which they were designed. So if there's 4 of them, I can convince my commander table, like, hey guys, new sets coming out, you pre-order these decks, come in on pre-release night, you guys can play commander with the new decks, look through them together. Like, I think that's more valuable. You move a bunch more product, you get a bunch more people interested than when there's 2. 2 seems like it's a weird number. You're not going to play 1-on-1.
I agree with you, but you move way more product when something's special. And commander decks once a year was special. This is the 20. My face is in the way. Where is
You're doing great.
That's standard.
It's the 2017 commander deck collection, and like if they released 30 commander decks that year, those wouldn't be as special. But the idea of one, like, I miss that. I like the idea of one release a year. I don't like the idea of new commander decks within the sets. I know that's the way they're going. It performs way better for.
I think more commander decks more better. Like stores, it helps stores out. Commander decks are quick sales. Like, I sell a ton of commander decks.
I do too. I think you would still sell a lot of commander decks. I think you'd sell I don't know. I wasn't a store back when they were only one set, but
like
as a
that
player,
was a big change for us. That was a big change.
As a player, I much prefer only having one a year. Like, as a player, I don't collect them anymore. So I don't buy them anymore because there's a million of them. But I used to buy a complete set. I have like 4 sets of most of them because I used to invest in them too. But like, I don't do that anymore with them because there's too many.
You'll see people coming in every set release and buying a commander deck and sitting down with your buddies and playing it right on release day. Like, you will see them do that for every release. Like, I think the commander deck per release was a big smart decision.
Interesting.
From WotC. Now, I will say I'm very skeptical of the new Pioneer decks that are coming out soon. I think those will not have the same success.
I got takes.
Yeah?
I got takes, but we'll leave the Pioneer decks
next week. Hear about our thoughts on the Pioneer decks.
I got takes.
It is not linked to eBay, so it does not count towards this episode. Continue.
And if I sell those Pioneer decks on eBay, no, it's the commander decks. Being a commander player is inherently cheap on a per set release basis. It's not cheap because a lot of these decks require dual land stuff. But if you're a commander deck, you have to buy one of the bomb that comes out in every set that can be playable commander, and then you buy a bunch of the 80-cent commander cards that don't really make too many waves, right? So it's not that bad. So George is right, in my opinion. The fact that community can absorb some of that financial burden, they can support a commander deck release with every set, because they had nothing else to do with that $40 to $70, right? They're going to buy 1 or 2 singles from the set that matter. But I do think the value is missed in the fact that, I know I'm hammering on this, but those decks are an ecosystem. They exist to be played together in a pool, and they need to come out in a way that supports a pod getting together and playing those decks.
That's just a lot of decks then.
It is. But if you're all in, if you're releasing commander decks with every set, you're all in. Don't 2 decks sometime and 4 decks sometime.
I am a proponent that Wizards should get their little hands and fingers out of Commander and not do things specifically for Commander. So that's 100%.
Well,
my take has
I'd probably like that more.
I mean, as a business, I'm not talking as a business. I'm talking as a player and consumer.
I played Commander. I liked Commander when that was the case. So maybe that brings me back in. I liked Commander then.
When they are dabbling in printing things specific for Commander, it makes Commander less fun and less interesting.
It was just a realm to play your binder. It was, which, by the way, 5-color Commander, Chromat did nothing wrong. Bring back Chromat. I took all the expensive cards out of my binder, put them in a 100-card stack, added Chromat, and played EDH and Commander. Like, that's what I did.
They ruined it by making it their big thing. But they made tons of money off it, and stores make tons of money off it. So
bingo.
As a consumer,
supply meets demand. Who would have thought it? Never could have considered it.
Let's keep going.
People love the Rainbow one. I will say this: my pre-orders for the Rainbow are through the roof for Commander decks.
Nice. Congratulations to Tim. for winning
And
it all.
congratulations to Josh for getting free Genesis product.
There you go. Josh showing off all of his products. Read your little letter.
Dude, I'm not. First of all, this is private. But this is between Genesis and me.
Oh my gosh.
This is between Genesis and me, and I will wager all of my stickers against none of the stickers that George has ever gotten.
Oh,
can I show off the coup de grace?
Yeah.
Shout out Genesis and shout out Joey. This was a sweet package.
That's cool.
This was a cool little gift package. Thank you guys so much. This was amazing.
That's right. So Tim won the big circuit event this weekend. Tim from Kitchen, I almost said Hometown TCG.
That's right, you did.
Tim from the Kitchen Table TCG Discord server. They play all the time. It's so much fun to see like him coming out and winning because they're in the server all the time playing Genesis and
deck. And when they're not playing Genesis, they're deck crafting in Genesis.
Yeah, and it's all they talk about. It's all they talk about is deck crafting for Genesis. So super cool to see him. He said he was super nervous.
He did great. Congrats.
They were also playing Eye of the Tiger in the background at the LGS while he was playing. It was funny.
Dude, what a cool environment.
Yeah.
What? That's so cool.
So super cool to see these circuit events going off. George has a big one coming up in September
17th. Louis will be there.
I will not be there.
Shocking.
I never
guess it.
You're flying me out, right?
Jordan will be there from Scheming Skeleton, The Bone Zone, the best podcast available on YouTube. And we got a whole bunch of people. Joe's coming down. Whole bunch. Assad will be there. Ollie will be there.
Wow.
All right, we'll be there.
Will Tim be there? Is Tim gonna
probably
win it all?
Everybody else will be there.
Got to go defend his title.
Yeah. If you don't win my, and I'm not really sure you won any of them. I'll just be honest with you. That's kind of my thought on the topic.
This, in my opinion, proves everything that we have said about Genesis.
The Table TCG people tend to win tournaments.
No, like just their play of it, like the amount that they love, like deck building and playing and being involved in it, just shows how much of a focus the game is for the company and for Genesis.
I mean, like, we've said this 100 times. It is by far the most polished TCG on the market
from a gameplay.
By far,
yeah.
Like, it's the most polished TCG.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like I said on the Better podcast that I was worried about Origins because I was worried to make J2 less desirable, and like the Genesis army came for me in a loving way because it's a very loving community. I like that community, very loving community, Genesis community. They said, like, listen, that's not entirely accurate. A lot of them messaged me this. It's because you'll eventually need the J2 boxes to boost your deck for Origin. So you just got to wait a couple weeks for these new players to get into J2. And I love the way they correct content creators through love, and it's always about gameplay. It's always about gameplay.
Yep.
I mean this. Like, I think Assad has something very special there. It's very hard. It's very hard to kind of create that kind of community.
Yeah.
And they've done that. And I hope they continue to nurture it. I hope the Genesis community continues to grow and love and kind of cheer on their own. And I think that's really awesome to see.
Yep, for sure. I'm sad I can't go to the event. It'd be nice to hang out with everybody.
Yeah, like nobody expected you to show up, so it's really not that big of a deal.
I know, but I'm sad about it.
Okay, that's great. Like,
I'm allowed to be sad about it. So super cool. Congrats to Tim. We just wanted to highlight that. And congrats to all the people competing in these events over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, Sean? I mean, like,
yes,
you guys have said this for a couple weeks now, and this is, red flag is not the right word because this is not a bad thing. I've loved everything I've heard. I had a long, in-depth conversation with Joey over from Genesis. I learned so much. I've got so much information at this point. But you guys keep mentioning how much it's all about the players, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's the case, that means there's a market, and no one's talking about it. If the game is so tight-knit and so well done, the game pieces will become valuable.
Here's where I think, bless you, good Lord. Here's where I tend to somewhat agree and somewhat disagree. the best products can lose. And like Genesis might always be small. That is the hard fact of a TCG life, is the thing that is least important in a new TCG is how the game plays.
But Josh, there is a market. I'm building a deck this week, and my buddy who's at the LGS is building a deck this week, and I needed 10 Death's Companions for my deck. Yeah. They are like, I can't get finding them's hard because the community is still small. The amount of boxes is hard, and they're not on TCG Player.
Right.
They're not on eBay. So finding the product is hard.
Yeah.
Cards, it cost me like $30, $25 to $30 a card for like the cheapest version of them. If I wanted the beta ones, they were like $80 to $90. Like getting the cards is, and the same for my buddy. He needed Tsunamis, and like I had to lend him 4 of them because I had opened 2 beta boxes.
I mean, still lending your buddy cards is a cool aspect of TCGs, and Genesis did make, Joey from Genesis made a great point actually about your card that you needed 10 of. It's as reprints come, right? Hopefully that will become more and more available because there's plans to reprint these things. I'm just saying the big alarms go off in my mind when someone says it's all about the players. When a game says it's all about the market, I'm trained to be like, okay, let's focus on the gameplay. When a game says it's all about the gameplay, there's like alarm bells that go up in my mind and says there's opportunity.
The other thing I think you might not realize is that Assad has made intentional efforts to keep the prices of cards very reasonable. And so if a card gets a lot of play, the price spikes. Congratulations, it's in your LGS kit next month. Right. I think he does too much of this. I think I've been on the record for this. I remain on the record for this. I think he wants the cards to be too cheap. But
that's really cool, though. That's neat.
I'm not going to get it for the 3rd week in a row. But like, I think like Assad will make it so that the game is affordably playable, almost at any cost. So like if a card spikes, it's in the LGS kit. It gets into the Patreon specials. It gets into it'll be a box topper. It'll be in the last time this happened, it was in the starter decks. Like he makes it so the cards are affordable, and like and I think if you were to ask Assad his theory of the market, I think he would simply say like we have to survive.
Okay,
like we're in this kind of craze right now. All these games come in, they balloon, they bust. I have to make sure in 10 years, there's a group of people still playing Genesis.
Yeah.
And if I have a group of people in 10 years still playing Genesis, this problem fixes itself. And I think that's true.
Sure.
I don't think he's also not trying to be the next Magic. He's not trying to make the next Black Lotus.
This is exactly Assad is doing exactly what I've said should be the goal of these TCGs, to be a small game company, like a small board game company that is successful in pockets and can run these events and can hire a couple of employees and can slowly grow into something that is sustainable for their own personal life, and they get the joy of creating TCGs for a living. And Assad's doing this in the perfect way. Now, like a couple things. First off, George, he is doing some things. Like beta Death's Companions have a different artwork than the promo version ones in these things, and that's why they are worth a lot more money. That's what they are. But the community, I talk to the community members all the time. And they say to me all the time, Louis, like, can you open some of your promo packs because we need Tsunamis. Like the community needs them. They're like, I can't find them. It's not even like I can't find them for $60 each. It's like they're not for sale. They're nowhere because everybody who has them wants them for deck building and whatever. And so it's not even a price thing. It's like hey, we need them for the community. This is why, and Joey's pushing a lot of stores to start doing online singles stores. Like he's straight up asked me, I just don't have time right now, but will you sell singles online because people need a place to just acquire their cards? So like I think they are doing things, and I think I like that it doesn't have the investor like huge.
Here's where I agree with you.
Moon culture.
It is
now. Like
refreshing. It is like it is. I have never been in the Genesis Discord and Jordan's Discord, which is mainly a Genesis Discord, or Louis' Genesis section of his Discord, and been like, oh God, gross. I have to deal with the same BS I deal with every day in every other TCG. They're always only talking about what deck to play, the meta, how the game went, who won this last tournament. They review footage of the tournaments together to see where they misplayed. Again, it's loving, it's accommodating, it's fantastic. Yep. If every TCG community was like Genesis, I'd have a lot more hair.
All right. Congratulations, Tim.
And Louis wouldn't be so fat.
That is true. That is true. Your hair probably
all right, George, get it out of the way. What's my fault?
Backwards hat.
Yeah, that's a cop out.
You're perfect.
No, backwards hat are awful.
All right.
That's how we know
backwards hats are great. Cryptic has comics coming out on Friday and a major event coming out. They're already sold out though, right?
They didn't sell out, Louis. They sold out like in 15 seconds.
Nice.
Like they put it up on. It's also like they're selling it on Tabletop Simulator. Like that's wild. You couldn't pay me to play anything on Tabletop Simulator.
I know. I've tried. I've literally tried to pay you to play Tabletop Simulator.
I know, and it's like, where does the mouse go? So let's separate this out. Like the comic that we spoiled last week, the spoiler one.
But you get in trouble for that?
No. Tanner said it was cool. I would have I was going to make Louis edit if he didn't say it was cool.
I wasn't going to edit.
You were definitely going to because I was going to throw a riot if you didn't. If
that doesn't scare me.
It was okay.
I wasn't going to edit it.
Out of respect for Tanner, I would have, but out of disrespect for you, I wouldn't. So it would be really
complicated. You would have just been like a blur. It's just a blurred out page of a comic book.
It's a coin toss.
That full comic comes out on Friday today. So you go to Cryptic's website and it's downloadable as a PDF, which I love.
That's cool.
I love that. I love that it's downloadable as a PDF.
Are they printing?
I love that. Huh?
Are they going to
print it?
What am I, a wizard?
I bet you he's printing it.
I bet you he will too. Yeah, but like right now it's available for free. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Really high quality artwork.
I'm excited to read the story. I have like 20 cards coming at PSA, maybe coming back this week. So I'm excited to like read the Lord. I'm excited to read the Lord. I'm excited to like get involved in the lore and understand the characters.
Is all about the lore.
Dude, they have their own language in the game. It's crazy. The guy that works with Tanner is a linguist for the US Army and knows like a stupid amount of he created a whole language based on all this stuff that, whatever. And it's incredible. He's very, very like, this is what I don't like about it. He gets very offended when you pronounce things wrong, and I can't even say lore.
You've had that experience before.
No, but like he's nice about it, but you can tell it really bothers him. He's a very nice person about it. So you're saying, but you can tell like it offended him, which is fair.
Did it offend Tanner or the other guy?
No, the guy who like
that's all right.
Cares about it. No, it's not all right. Like I suck, but like
No. I'm saying it's all right. It's not Tanner.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm excited to read the comic and like learn.
Maybe you should try to pronounce things better.
I just pronounced Wolfric, right?
Listen, George, he's just correct. I was doing a live stream and my stream asked me to read a lore that dropped during the live stream, and I tried to read it.
Why would you do that?
Because I'm a man of the people.
Yes,
I give the people what they want. But he is correct on the pronunciation. That's my biggest fear.
I don't. Yeah. I can barely read, so whatever you get, you get. Damn. I'm gonna try the comic. I want to give big props to Tanner for doing these tournaments.
Yeah,
and
he plays in them too. He beat me.
Shout out to Freddie, a local compete sporter who is untechnically, in reality, the #1 cryptic player in the world right now.
Wow.
Shout out to Freddie. Yeah, of course. That's how we do it. Sport. That's how we do it.
Freddie plays like everything.
And he wins at everything.
Yeah. Freddie's good.
He is
I'm so jealous of players.
No, he doesn't win at Genesis. I'm Team Tim. When Kitchen Table TCG comes to your home, when Kitchen Table TCG comes to your hometown and plays in your LGS's basement.
Can I help you with something?
Yeah.
Freddie is also on your patron. He is also
Freddie's got to pick teams. This is Kitchen Table TCG.
You know what? You know what? Freddie can be Team Hometown TCG.
Freddie, if you're listening to this,
look, I solved it. No, Freddie, you got it.
Just doubled.
You see how I just stole him.
Freddie, don't worry. I can
Mark Cuban move.
to you and beat George's prices any day.
You've seen my distribution. You've seen Louis' distribution. Choose wisely.
I'm the tallest.
For every game, including Genesis, yes.
Oh, yeah, he plays all the games. Dang it, you got me beat.
I'm the tallest.
Is that true? How tall are you?
By far.
Yeah, he's way taller than both of us.
Are you really?
Yeah, he's a giant.
Yeah. How many times have you ever dunked a basketball?
There's a great video of me meeting Josh.
I sent you that.
There's a great video of me meeting Josh and Josh's companion. What's his name?
John.
Sorry, John.
Love Josh's companion?
Yeah.
He started the channel with me way back when. Then he quit because he's a quitter.
And I'm like saying hi to them, and Josh's head's completely cut out.
It's Louis' face, it's John's face. They're talking to the camera, and it's my chest down.
You should know that John is a much better looking human than Josh. And
that is not. It's not true anymore.
He's gotten worse looking.
Has he gotten uglier?
I know you haven't gotten better looking.
First of all, ouch. Second of all, I'm the only one on camera now, so that's why I'm better looking.
I know two things. You haven't gotten better looking, and I haven't gotten skinnier. So, and George doesn't have more hair. Welcome to
anywho,
TCGs.
going back to this. So, as much as all the hubbub around Cryptic is about, attendees and okay, what's going on with the price, Tanner, I think, is really trying very hard to make this about gameplay.
Is that what you feel about Cryptic?
Yeah,
the community?
That's what I hear about Cryptic.
Wow.
No. Wait. Pause. If you go to the people who are playing Cryptic, that's not the perception. But if you go to other Discords that discuss around Cryptic, I think that's the perception. And I think Tanner is doing a good job of fighting that perception by hosting tournaments, doing a lot of prizes, and trying to make it so that the gameplay is the focus. And I think that's really smart of him.
I think the community around Cryptic seems like, hey, let's have some casual fun.
I think that's true for the community itself.
Yeah, I think I don't think I would be very surprised if there are a lot of people who have a stupid amount of investment and they're like, Cryptic's going to the moon, it's going to pay for my kids' college fund. And I would be very surprised. I'd be very surprised if there's a lot of people who are like, I'm going to go play competitive Cryptic as a thing. I think most of the people are like, I love the community, I love the cards, and the gameplay is fun and easy to pick up, and it's a great.
That's the thing.
It's a great TCG for me to dabble in and play when I have time. And it's a really easy game to pick up and play.
Love games like that.
Yeah.
Love, because that's who you need to attract. That's your audience.
Again, I think it goes the same thing we said about Assad. This is what I am learning as somebody who talks, or I guess you should talk a lot about the alternative games. I am transitioning the channel, so the algorithm needs. Anyway, but
oh my god,
the games that are trying to just grow slowly, I think, have a lot more weight going for them, in my opinion. They have a lot of wisdom in that, and I think they are learning from a lot of the other stuff.
I think what you just, I think is the most important thing. I think both Assad and Tanner have learned a lot from what happened with earlier TCGs that boomed and busted.
Yeah.
And I think they looked at that and went I want no part of that. Yeah. It feels really good when everything is going crazy. The back end of that is freaking brutal.
It's scary.
It's scary. It can kill games. It can certainly kill communities.
Communities is the scary part.
So I think they're saying, I want to be very intentional with my growth. I want to be savvy with how I march forward. And I think that's very smart for both of them. I want to add one thing about the tournament. The cards are graded authentic by CGC that you're going to win in the tournament this week from Tanner.
That's cool. I forgot. CGC is the sponsor.
Yes. Big shout out to Tanner for not doing BS with grades. I think like grading the promos that are 1 of 1 is like absolutely ludicrous and silly. Like I don't like it when people grade 1 of 1 sports cards. I don't like it when people grade 1 of 1 anything really.
Why?
Because there's 1 of 1. It's the best graded one in the market.
It doesn't matter what the grade is. It's the only one.
People like grading things to protect their cards, though.
You can
grade them as authentic.
Okay, well, might as well put the grade on it.
No. If you're grading cards just to protect them, I think you're misusing that service.
No.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
If you're grading cards just to protect them, you're not misusing that service. I grade some Pokemon cards just because I want them to be in a slab and protected.
Misusing that service is not an argument against misusing that service.
my basement floods.
Josh is on I feel like I have been replaced on this podcast. Josh is just roasting you tonight.
Please?
God, Josh is roasting you tonight.
That wasn't meant for the show. That's not a roast. I'm just saying if that's my opinion is the grading makes a lot more sense if you're trying to validate and verify a card's condition, and once that condition has been validated and verified, then there's a reason to protect the product. If the condition doesn't matter because there's not another condition that you can get one in, I argue you could protect the product without the $200 fee or whatever.
Great. It's not $200 anymore.
It's true. That's true. Yeah, that was hyperbole on me.
Anyway. Coming from like Pokemon, where I don't want to play with the card, I don't want to do anything but look at the card. I much prefer to hold it in something I know is not going to damage the card. And
I'm fine with you slabbing your cards. You don't need a grade to slab your card, and you also don't have any 1 of 1 Pokemans.
Yeah, that's not true. All I have is 1 of 1s.
I also might just be the lowest grade of your slab collection because
call me Logan Paul. I have tons of 1 of 1 Pokemon cards that nobody knows about.
They're all G.I. Joe. I'm warning you right now, Logan.
Logan Paul, once you're on the podcast a few times, I'll let you know and you can see them.
Shout out to your slab collection though. You've sent it to me a couple times when you've got things back. I am a little jealous. I'll admit it.
I don't talk about Pokemon enough on the channel compared to like my bags of Pokemon. My Pokemon is way. We don't even get into it. My daughter. The idea that my daughter loves Pokemon, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll take Pokemon. Yeah, give it to me. Every time I'm like, I'll just give it to Ava.
I started buying Pokemon for that reason.
Poor Kennedy, never gonna have any Pokemon. That first child just gets it all, man. It's crazy.
Listen, Louis told me these cute stories about opening Pokemon with his daughters, and now that I've got little Dominaria on the way. Go ahead. Sorry. I don't want to. I was saying I started buying Pokemon boxes from local treasure hoard games out here because I'm like, I want to open Pokemon cards with my kid one day. I got to start having this stuff around. So because of you, I now have Pokemon boxes.
Yeah. We went to McDonald's this week. So McDonald's,
well, that was for you.
No. She loves it. She loves it.
Did you try to buy the sealed product from behind the counter?
Yeah. So like
yes, he did. Josh, very astute. Very astute.
Comment section will roast me, but it's fine.
Yup.
I would do it too. You're not wrong for that. I would go.
You are wrong for that.
No. They only sold me 10 of them. I was like, yeah, but I was like, well, you sell me a sealed case of the Pokemon. I bought the Happy Meal for my kid.
Ask that.
I was on the phone with George and he literally said, make sure you ask to see if you can buy a sealed case. So
I was like,
I think that's a move. That's a great move.
See if you'll do it. The comment section will roast you.
So I asked her, I was like, hey, I'd love to buy, some extra Pokemon. And like she asked the back and the lady says, no. I was like, I know you can't, but like, what are you allowed to sell? And they were like, well, I can sell you 10. I was like, okay, can you sell me? And they're like $2 each. I'm like, okay, sure. Well, you sell me 10 and then like,
10 more,
some more 10. And like, maybe I'll pay a little bit more. They didn't like that. They didn't like that at all.
Do I have to walk through the
so I think I'm going to do a thing. I think I was just thinking about this the other day. I think I might, like, I've got the LGS. Just be like, look, guys, if you want to buy anything, you get full price off for each Happy Meal that you bring, each thing that you bring in. So you can go get 10 of them and you get $20 off whatever product you want from the store.
You're encouraging employees to steal.
No. I'm encouraging my customers to go buy.
I thought you wanted the McDonald's employees to bring the product in and trade it to you for store credit.
No. I don't know why I want them. Honestly, it's like disappointing. I just want to see a box of them. Like the sealed collector in me is like, oh my gosh, how cool would it be?
You can find that, don't you?
That would.
Where?
eBay.com.
It's almost.
All right. Anyway, that was enough Pokemon nonsense for everyone.
I hope everybody liked my cryptic section. That was great. Thank you all very much for listening to the cryptic section.
All right, let's talk about sorcery boxes. What did you send us, George? A case sold for what?
It was a lot.
It was a lot of money.
There was a big number on that screenshot.
A case sold for, where'd it go? $1,950 a case sold on eBay. That's crazy. Boxes are going for $400 to $500 right now of the Kickstarter boxes. George, go ahead and tell us your spicy take.
I don't have a spicy take on this.
George, we have documents of your spicy takes and how much you hate sorcery and think it's going to fail.
That is not at all accurate. Let me be very clear. What Louis just said is a bold-faced lie.
Here he goes. He's walking it back, everyone. He's walking it back.
No.
All right, walk it
Here's
back.
what I'm walking. Here's what I think. Here's what I think. My comments on sorcery are the same. It's like, listen, $4 million of sales, 28,000 booster boxes.
Okay.
That's way too many. That's like people got greedy. There's not real demand for 28,000 boxes. How many of that 28,000 went to flippers?
Listen, that's fair. I'm not like that's fair. You're
like
making
28,000. Like that's more than like almost any new TCG's first print run. Like what's that? Like that's more than every new TCG I'm aware of.
It's about the same as MetaZoo's CN1 box.
Yeah, it's more. It's 10%. It's more than 10% more.
Sure. Oh, we're talking about print runs, so Josh is hiding. Is that the joke, Josh?
I'm not coming back till we're done talking about print run numbers.
Smart. I mean, like, this is way, like, I guess, like, I think.
I disagree with you.
You simmer down, boo boo. I think that this is a beautiful product. I think they did a great job of print. The printing looks beautiful for the cards they've shared so far. I like the artwork. I'm just very fearful you're going to have $1.5 million, $2 million of people trying to flip, and there's like not going to be enough people on the back end.
I agree with that. I mean, and that will happen. Listen, I'm not telling people to go spend $400 a box on Kickstarter sorcery. I'm not saying that that's a good price. That's not what I'm saying.
And hold on one second. I want to be very clear here. This is not sorcery's fault.
No.
No,
this is not sorcery's fault. Like, I think there's other things I'm starting to question about it, to be honest. But like, that's a different discussion. Like, my big fear with sorcery is and always and has been, I'm afraid this boom happened at the exact wrong time for them. I think they're looking at $4 million in the bank, and it's like can't fail. Yeah, you can. I mean, like I very much question who's on the back end of the 27,000th booster box. Who's buying that booster box?
So I think that first off, I would not personally buy a $500 box of sorcery right now. I think that's silly. Like, even if I missed the Kickstarter, I think it's silly to not think that the market's going to come back down when everybody gets their product. That's what happens in trading card games. And there's nothing to say, hey, this shouldn't happen with sorcery. Like, that's certainly going to happen, and flippers always are involved. So I think that's a fair statement. But I'm not scared at 28,000 boxes. Like, that doesn't scare me at all.
You think there's demand for 28,000 booster boxes for the first set of this game that like 25 people have played?
So like, it worked fine for MetaZoo.
After Kickstarter boxes. You're talking about the second time they printed these boxes, right?
The MetaZoo's 25,000. I don't consider
after the Kickstarter set.
Sure. So you're saying that the Kickstarter set allows people to see the value in things, and then the value.
Yeah, it allows people to figure out what the hell's going on.
Well, I mean, like, sorcery samples are going crazy on the Facebook groups.
I'm
like,
not saying that people aren't flipping for tendies. That's obvious. But I'm saying that, like, I'm wondering when people get their 28,000 booster boxes, who wants the 27,000th?
I think so. I think a lot of people will want them at the MSRP pricing.
I agree with that. I think it could hold an MSRP. That wouldn't stun me.
Right, which I think is fine. That's like anybody who's expecting more than that, I don't think you're in the right for the right thing. So I think what you are downplaying is two things. Number one is I believe wholeheartedly that there's going to be a group of people, a large set of people, I don't know what that number is, that want to collect sorcery, particularly the Kickstarter version of sorcery. And I believe that they will have a very hard time doing so, especially with the foils. They've already said the foils are going to be hard to pull. So that's going to create a lot of demand from a collector standpoint. Secondly, I wholeheartedly believe that the company is not going to just like waste the $4 million that they raised. I think you are downplaying the amount of marketing and things that can be done with $4 million that they can market to what I think is one of the largest untapped markets in the TCG industry, which is the board game industry. And I think sorcery has a lot of things going for it for people who just like casual board games and picking up and playing. And so if they can tap into some of those things and help the LGS pick up on the back end of that, I think that's huge.
How are they helping the LGS on the back end of this?
I'm saying they can if they put that money towards marketing with the LGS.
Let me be very clear. I'm friends with somebody who's on the sorcery team. I respect them. But like, this is the kind of statement that drives me up a wall from people. Show me how they're doing it. Tell me how they're doing it. I'm not
saying that they are doing it. I'm saying that they can do it.
Of course
they have the money to do it.
They can make a space rocket and go to the moon. That doesn't mean that we're going to. That doesn't mean they're going to plant it on Mars. I mean, come on, man. Like, they have to tell us what they're going to do. And I think that's what's been frustrating for me. Is that like I don't see? I wish there was a clearer map, a roadmap of where this is going. And also, like, listen, like if you're also going to do, if your argument's going to be, I'm going to go after the board game players, you got to compete with Genesis on that. Genesis has been a balanced game for 5 years.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like. This is like, I think you're fooling yourself if you think 4 million people bought $4 million worth of product got bought because they really like board games.
So I would have
bought for tendies.
I would have backed sorcery 5 years ago when I was obsessed with board games.
Sure.
I would have backed sorcery with no connection to, I mean, I played Magic, but no connection to the current TCG climate that I have. I would have backed it because I love board games and the artwork looks amazing. And I love the idea of what it is. So that, like, I would have backed it. I believe that the number of people, I agree with you. There's a lot of flippers too, but the number of people who missed out on the Kickstarter, George, if I'm in the Facebook groups, I see the messages. Unless you're like fake people that are coming out of the woodwork that they're creating accounts being like, hey, I missed the Kickstarter.
Just going back to MSRP.
Yeah, that's fine. I think
that's fine. But like,
I'm saying even if that happens, I think it's fine. Like, I think
if that happens, is there a chance? And again, Louis, this is something you are an expert in far more than I am. But is there a chance it's given a taste in people's mouth where the word on the street now becomes, if you buy this, the value is crashing, or this is a dying game, and that becomes the word to the fringe community that kind of goes out there if it goes back to MSRP after these insane prices?
There is one content creator who we're friends with who loves our podcast, and after he did his video on it,
is it me?
$2 million went into sorcery immediately.
Oh, Rudy.
So it's not
Rudy.
Me.
It's Rudy.
It's not. Darn.
Gosh, she lost me a friend.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have friends.
He's our friend. He's a friend of the show.
Yeah, sure.
No, not anymore. Now that I'm on it, he's done.
I'll be honest, Josh. We invited him first. He said he was busy.
We did invite Rudy. He didn't reply to me.
Well, now I feel like an easy date. I replied right away.
No, Rudy always replies.
Rudy replied.
Rudy's like legitimately nice, which I think is like.
I don't know how he always responds.
He's very nice.
That guy's got to get messages.
He sent me of everyone. Anyway, I want to get it. He sent me the nicest. Anyway, I want to talk about him.
Rudy's very nice.
I like that you
George
started
made me
talking about
more
it and didn't want
sad.
to talk about
George
jokes.
made me more sad when everything was going on. Rudy made me happy.
What a homie.
That's not true.
What a homie.
I'm sorry, George. Continue. You took that way too seriously. You took that like you didn't laugh at it. You didn't give me anything with that joke.
That hurt.
It made me feel bad.
That hurt.
Yeah, I'll talk to my therapist about it.
Great. Tell Cameron I say hi. I just like, man, like,
Did you do that on purpose?
what?
Cameron? Who's
Is that your
Cameron?
therapist name?
No, Carol.
With a K.
Okay.
Is your
Go
therapist
on.
named Cameron?
No, but that's my daughter's name. We announced it. It's fine. So I
Hey,
can say it here.
congratulations!
But that's going to be my daughter's name, and
Is
I thought
Is
you
your
were
daughter
head.
is your daughter
Josh,
gonna be Louis' therapist?
I know that this may come to a surprise for you, but there are other Camerons in the world. Like I know that right now she's the
First
only
of
thing
all,
that matters to you.
The only Cameron that ever existed is Little Dominaria.
I know that.
Second of all, I just thought I was like, did I forget that I told George that? Because that was quick. Sorry, go ahead, George. I didn't mean to derail
George's
you. That,
point here.
that
Sorry,
blew
George.
my mind.
Your point is Rudy got involved, which brought in Rudy patrons who are just looking to flip. I think you're wrong about that. Like I think you are intrinsically wrong about that statement.
What part of that do you think I'm intrinsically wrong about, Boo Boo?
Because Rudy patrons also, some of them, let me finish. Some of them, sure, they're in it to flip it. But Rudy patrons also love TCGs. Rudy patrons also love new TCGs. Rudy patrons also love Magic the Gathering artwork and historic Magic the Gathering artists who all have a role in sorcery. So it's not like you're so all or nothing. And it's not all.
I'm not,
like,
Boo Boo, if you would listen for a second.
Okay.
There's $2 million got added for Rudy.
Yep.
Right after Rudy made the video.
Yes.
Let's say half are flippers. I think it may be more, but let's say it's half. That's $1 million of flippers.
Okay.
That's a quarter of the entire raise.
Okay.
That's a lot.
I agree.
You have to convince me there's a people on the back end of that who want to buy $1 million of sorcery. And I think that's a hard sell.
If you're saying it's $1 million, then that means there are $3 million worth of people who said that they want it at MSRP. I don't care if the boxes are worth $400. That's not what I'm like. I'm not selling boxes at $400. Like I don't care about that. I want to open boxes. I want to pull. Those foils look so cool.
The foils look great. Let me be very clear here. I think that's part. All right. I didn't know we were going to really get into sorcery tonight. That was not on my agenda, but I guess we will. Here's what I love and I don't love about sorcery. I think sorcery has some of the best artwork in the game. I think they have some of the best printing in the game. From what we've seen, these haven't been printed yet.
Yeah, we have not seen the actual print yet.
Right. This is what they think it's going to look like, but it looks amazing. Here's what drives me crazy. It drives me crazy when people like other, guests on this podcast, Louis, say things like, oh, they're going to support the LGS. They haven't told us how, but maybe one day they will. And then they say things, and then they say, like, one set a year doesn't work. It does not work. They need to figure out how they're going to produce more sets for the game. If not, an LGS can't carry it. An LGS cannot carry a game that does one release a year. It can't.
Yep, I agree.
So they have to figure out how they're going to get into the LGS or tell us, I don't care about the LGS. I'm going to be a Kickstarter only game. Fine. But they need to be intentional with this decision and this communication.
I agree. I mean, I think what you're saying is fair. My point was that they can use that $4 million to grow their brand. Now, if they decide to be whatever and to use their $4 million to buy some boats or to to print 1 billion boxes and sell them to distribution.
Oh my God! Wait, he's from New Zealand.
Yeah,
he can buy boats.
If that's what they decide to do with it and they don't utilize the money from marketing or to grow the game or to do whatever, then sure, like you're right. But we don't know what he's going to do with that money. And my point is that they could do something really, really cool with that amount of money.
I agree with you, but like I also think $4 million isn't $4 million. Okay. And like that's important for you to remember, Boo Boo. A bunch of that just went to fees.
Sure.
They had to print boxes. They have to ship boxes. Like they're going to be stuck with, my guess is around $750 to $1 million at the end of this.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
That is.
But you have to do another print run though.
Yeah. They have.
I got to figure out how to do that.
They're going to have to.
But they also they also started with capital. So there's a lot of things going on. But
I agree. But
it'll be great. It'll be great.
That is the George's theory.
My
of
favorite part
sorcery.
of this. My favorite part of this is that in a year on this podcast, we will be either laughing at you or me. It'll be great.
I know who I'll be laughing at. I don't need to wait a year, just so we're clear.
Okay.
Just say my name. Just say it. Just
say my name.
All
say
right.
my name.
Let's finish this up with the eBay sandwich.
You say, baby, I love you.
MetaZoo selling some product.
Game.
MetaZoo selling some product on eBay. eBay lunchboxes.
They're booming, but that's the least important. Weirdly, that was very important MetaZoo news until eBay did something else this week.
Yeah.
Louis, even though it was my idea, I will let you share it because you will claim it's yours anyway.
That's not true.
Go ahead.
Go
ahead.
We both agree, and it's unknown who came up with the idea first because neither of us can remember in our personal conversations that the biggest TCG winner of the eBay buying TCG player is MetaZoo.
By a mile. By a mile.
And let me back up why I believe this.
Yeah.
TCG player has kind of just like pretended that MetaZoo doesn't exist. Like they put it on their site, but like half the cards don't have images. For a while, like I think it was after UFO release, they put boxes up so like stores couldn't even pre-sell. I don't know if that's TCG players or MetaZoo's fault. I don't know whose fault it is. The point is, yeah, I know my gut says TCG player. Anyway, the point is that like MetaZoo has big connections with eBay. Probably, I'm not saying like the CEO of eBay, but like has big connections with the trading card section of eBay. They have eBay exclusive items. They have all the stuff already connected with eBay and basically get to go over TCG player's head now and be like, hey, like we want this. And then today, MetaZoo announced, and this is maybe the biggest part, maybe. Today, MetaZoo announced that they are going to be the at Collecticon. Is it not Collecticon? What's the big con?
eBay Con, I'm sure.
The one in New York.
Comic-Con.
At Comic-Con, they are going to be streaming on eBay Live. MetaZoo is going to be like some premiere thing for eBay Live at Comic-Con. That's
even
massive.
I saw that news. That's huge.
Somebody said that the big play of this was eBay Live versus whatnot. I got to find that guy.
If MetaZoo is heavily involved in the starting of eBay Live, or if MetaZoo had some sort of weird connection involved in this, that's going to be absolutely massive for MetaZoo's promotion of their game.
MetaZoo is the weirdest TCG market of any of these new games by a mile.
I agree. That's why I don't even know how to talk about it. I don't even know what to say.
Like, people always ask me, like, what do you think of MetaZoo? I'm like, I have no, like, here's one thing about MetaZoo. Like, they have so many paths to success, and they just need one of them to work out. Yeah. To be big. Not like little big. The TV show has to hit, the game has to hit, or this has to hit.
I don't think that this is enough to get it over the line.
Oh, I disagree. I mean, like,
listen,
if eBay goes all in on the zoo, if eBay Live is like, we're going to make MetaZoo a premier partner in our streaming platform, you're going to see a ton of MetaZoo ads. You're going to see a ton of MetaZoo everything on like one of the most visited websites on the planet. This could be totally massive for MetaZoo.
eBay is probably not one of the most visited websites on the planet.
I'll bet you it's top 20.
It's got to be one of them.
No. All right. You look it up. I think like this is great. I think it's huge. I think it's massive for the future of MetaZoo. I don't think it's comparable to the TV show or movie. Listen, somebody's got to be on the other end of the purchase on the eBay Live app. Like somebody has to be there to be excited to buy the product.
This guy gets it.
You're not getting there just because eBay puts advertisements to me all the time, and I'm like, get the hell out of here. I don't want to see your advertisement. To somebody who doesn't know what MetaZoo is, that's what that is for them.
It is number 14 in the land of freedom.
Really?
For visits.
USA.
That's impressive.
That's what I expected.
Yeah, that's about right. Louis, you hit the nail on the head right there. This does a lot for MetaZoo. And again, I'm in this weird spot with MetaZoo on the outside looking in. This is huge for MetaZoo. It's this weird, awesome, gigantic MetaZoo platform to stand on. But what does it do for eBay? That's my question. If eBay Live wanted to take off, there's a million different
gets of this. I think with MetaZoo, eBay gets, if they can find a way to partner with MetaZoo with around the TV show and the video game, you can have some really cool synergies between them.
How does eBay partner with MetaZoo on the TV show and video games? I get the trading card game makes sense.
An eBay exclusive set that's based around the TV show. If Mike's not doing that, I'd be.
I see. Like, okay, that makes sense. I get it now. I understand that.
They will have. What's up?
It's 14 It is 14 in the United States, but it's 45 in the world.
Yeah, but USA.
Who cares about the rest of the world, Louis? Have you thought about that? USA all the way.
It's crazy.
Thanks to all our
number 34
listeners.
around the world, from what I see.
No, it was 40. It was 45.
But what does this do? What does this do for MetaZoo with the current boxes? And again, I'm just as outside looking in, as big picture as I can think. If this hits and we're at Comic-Con and we're opening UFO, what happens to the UFO box? Does the UFO box go from $72 to $100?
UFO boxes. They should be opening eBay exclusive boxes if this is going to work. They should be opening eBay themed and branded products, and I think they will.
Sure, but then what does that do to the core product?
We talked about this. I don't think Mike views the box, and Mike, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I'm certainly willing to be wrong on this. Correct me instead of banning me. I don't think MetaZoo views the box as the core product.
No.
That's fair.
I think they view these other products as more closely related to their brand, and I think it is. And I want to say one thing. I want to give actually a big shout out to Mike. I'll be candid. I was a little skeptical of the partner program sometimes when I was like, oh, he's like not going to actually give us access to like some of the goodies of MetaZoo. Yeah. He has given us access to everything.
That's pretty cool.
Like, Mike has taken the partnership very seriously, and Mike deserves a lot of credit for that.
So, Josh, to answer your question, what does MetaZoo get out of this? Is the partner?
No. I know what MetaZoo gets out of it.
eBay gets out of it.
I want to know what eBay gets out of this.
Oh, yeah.
I think
this is all win for MetaZoo. What I'm saying is my big picture from a consumer like me, from a normal guy, I would love to experience MetaZoo in the way that I opened the box and felt like I did when I was talking to you, Louis, late at night, opening boxes of Pokemon. I'd never opened a box of Pokemon. I was opening boxes of Pokemon, asking you what I was opening. I didn't even know anything about what I was opening, but it was just excitement. I was just excited about this. And I want to feel that way about opening a box of MetaZoo. I want to feel about that.
Have you ever opened a box of MetaZoo?
Yes.
You didn't feel it?
I didn't.
It's different without the IP love, man. It's different.
That's what it is. I didn't know what I was. I wasn't sure what I was chasing. I had some ideas, but I wasn't sure. I want to trend in that direction.
Have you opened a top box?
I have not.
George has some. He'll send him. Yeah, he's all about sending them to you. He'll probably wait before it.
I'm about to say, what are the ones Wade that you're sending me?
I'm definitely gonna send you a Wade one.
So here's what I think that eBay gets out of it. The same thing that we all get out of it if we buy into MetaZoo. The idea that if the IP takes off, eBay is not investing in MetaZoo, and George is not investing in MetaZoo, and Louis is not investing in MetaZoo. What all of us are investing in is Mike. Can Mike pull off creating? 100%. Can Mike pull off, and can Mike and his partners, and can the things that he's doing, can he pull off creating a brand and an IP around MetaZoo that goes bigger than a card game and bigger than that. Can you recapture lightning in a bottle that was Pokemon? And eBay's TCG guy put his money on Mike. That happened. Happened. And that you can't gloss over that. Like, no, like this is concrete in my mind. Like, there's a lot of stuff with MetaZoo that's like, there's people who are so pro MetaZoo that it's ridiculous. There's people who are so negative towards MetaZoo that they have nothing better to do than post photos, even though they hate the game. Like, there's so much wide. But when you look at like the truth is that the guy who's in charge of eBay's TCG thing, who's not like a small partner in eBay, probably not one of the highest people up in eBay, but like not like a minuscule, like not cleaning the toilets. He is betting on Mike. He is betting his job on Mike.
Arguably the most important person in the TCG space.
So listen,
Logan Paul, I disagree with that. Logan Paul.
So listen, if what you say works, and this is the huge win scenario for both parties, eBay really doesn't risk anything by doing this, because if the MetaZoo going live thing doesn't work, they can always fall back on something like Magic or Pokemon that all works. But if it hits and the IP is a success, like we all three of us think it will be, the opportunity here is the statement I made earlier with Louis about me sitting there opening products with my daughter and having fun and feeling a certain type of way. That will be MetaZoo before it is Pokemon, because that will be the TV show she is watching. That will be what her and her classmates and friends are talking about. That's the lightning in a bottle. That's a huge moment. And eBay could benefit from that. Sorry.
Now, this is something I think MetaZoo needs to work on. Is I feel like MetaZoo is growing away from that demographic and towards an older demographic. And I think that's a mistake. Listen, with some of the other games that we talked about, I think one of the hardest things about them is like they are focused on 30-year-old males. I don't I'm a 30-year-old male. I don't really
only
care.
30.
Yeah. I don't really care to be like all in on something that is producing for my demographic. My demographic's pretty tiny and doesn't have a great future. I'm gonna be dead in 50 years.
We're all gonna die.
Like the demographic.
When's your therapy session?
Jeez Louise.
The demographic that I want to be involved in is reaching the next generation. I think that's really, really important. And I would like to see MetaZoo go. I told Mike I think he should give. At the time, it was not as funny as it is now. Now I feel like he should reach out to LGSs and be like, hey, we need all the CN2 theme decks back, and give them to high schools. They should be some sort of like middle schools and high schools. Like redemption thing where you are giving the product to these middle schoolers and high schoolers to let them see it.
Cool idea.
People, every kid who comes into my shop, like all the middle school age kids, I always give them a CN2 theme deck, because it's like, I want you to see this. I think you'll love it. It's perfect. Like I think you'll love it.
Maybe younger now. Middle school kids are very aggressive.
I think
they're scary.
I agree with you. I think that's where they need to focus. I do think. I mean, like Mike was not at Collecticon this week, and I thought that was very smart of him. Mike, I think Mike. Like I mean, I said this last week. I was blown away by his decision to reduce the print runs. Mike is listening.
Yeah.
And I think Mike is now Mike. I think this is the Mike I wanted. You're back to the Mike I invested in and believed in and wanted. Was like, this is a dude who's like, I'm all in on the zoo. I'm gonna, like, if it means I don't get to hang out with my fans, because I gotta stay at home and write this book. And I've got to get this done because I got to get this TV show freaking nailed. Good for him. The dude that's making the deals with eBay, something that no other TCG has done, might I add. Yeah. That's the dude I bet on. That's the dude.
Yep.
And I have had a very good 2 or 3 weeks with MetaZoo the last couple of weeks, because I'm like, that Mike is back. And that's the one I wanted.
Now, here's you got to be able to follow through on that, with also following through on all the other stuff that impacts the small community. Following through on eBay, super important. But if you follow through on eBay and you don't follow through on the things for the little guys in the community, well, like a lot of the redemption stuff that's going on, a lot of the people who haven't gotten tracking for there's a lot of conversation about the Kickstarter. Listen, I don't fully understand why people are so upset about Kickstarter delays. Like, when I back a Kickstarter project, I'm like, it's going to be delayed.
I have
I
$8,000 in MetaZoo product coming. I have like no idea if I'm going to be tracking that. I don't really care. Like, when I get the decks, I'll get the decks. It's fine.
That doesn't matter to you because you're George. You're invested in the game. You're invested in the hobby or whatever. But to the other people who this is their first experience, that's not a great experience. And that is something I think Mike needs to work on because as you grow taller, you also have to continue to grow wider.
I agree. I somewhat agree.
So anyway,
he's got the benefit of this. We talked about the TV show and the IP being a get out of jail free card. All of that that you 100%. Mentioned is totally nullified, though. If that TV show hits, and like you said, our daughters are watching it and they love it, they're free reset button. I got trial and error on all of this. Start over, and everyone loves me.
George, what did my daughter say to you in the car?
I love MetaZoo.
No, that's all she said. What did she say?
What did she say?
She said, Daddy can have, we were going to the shop.
Oh, yeah.
She said, Daddy can have the Pokemon. I want the MetaZoo.
Yeah.
That's cool. See, that's the moment. Like, if they can capture that, that's huge. Huge.
Like, and it's funny, like, this is, this is what I saw in MetaZoo. Like, this is why, like, my first text to Mike was asking him to invest in the company. He said no. That's what I saw was like, I don't like Louis loves Pokemon. I like Pokemon because I can sell Pokemon.
You were too old.
I don't love Pokemon.
You were too old.
Yeah.
This is my point. You were too old.
And like, I saw MetaZoo and was like, I can get into this. Like, I vibe with this. I vibe with the art.
Nostalgia doesn't start when you're 30.
No.
Pokemon is successful now because of nostalgia.
Yeah.
And like, nostalgia doesn't start when you're 30. I don't know. But this has been a very good couple of weeks for MetaZoo. This has been like an astoundingly good couple of weeks for MetaZoo. Meanwhile, the core product's still not doing well though. Like, it's like this weird thing. Like, the eBay boxes sell out in our the eBay boxes sell out and are above whatever, and then like regular UFO boxes are
free.
Yeah,
and maybe I'll give it another try. Maybe it's on me to take another UFO box and crack it open.
I think we have to stop thinking of boxes as the core MetaZoo product. And I think that's hard. I think that's hard because that's what every other game uses their core product.
I think I'll go one step further. We have to stop looking at the cards as a core MetaZoo product.
I think that's true in the future.
I think it's there now. Like, I think what sold, I honestly think, you know what? Maybe that's the hottest take for me. The UFO lunchboxes sold not because of the cards inside, but because of the lunchbox.
I'm getting one not because of anything that's inside that box. I want the box.
Exactly.
100%.
It's a brand. That is the difference. And that's why people don't get it. Josh, honestly, that's why you don't get it.
That's fair. That's why I'm bowing out of this conference because I don't.
You don't want a lunchbox.
You don't want a lunchbox? What's wrong with you?
The lunchbox is featuring card art. It's got cards with it. The core product is the card. It is the game.
No,
it is right now. It won't be one day, but right now, today, as of the filming of this podcast, that is
I
the
have
core
played
product.
like 5 games of MetaZoo in my life.
You've played 5 games of Magic in your life.
That's not true. But I played way more than Magic, way more than Warhammer. But I love the MetaZoo art and the theme and like the feel of it, and that's what's on the lunchbox.
But there are people that feel that way about these other TCGs. That doesn't make the TCG, the card in the box, not the product.
I don't think that's
definitely
true.
There are people.
Then why don't they have peripheral products? Name me another game that has all these peripheral products that are doing well.
Because it's hard to do your core product and peripheral products well. I think most of these TCGs choose to focus on the core product and nail that. And MetaZoo's chosen a different route.
They don't nail it. They don't. Like, the problem is, like, the games don't nail the box, and they don't do peripheral products.
Yes, sure. Some games fail, but the ones that don't do the core product, and they do it well. They keep the main thing thing, as they say.
There is no TCG today that's new, not Magic or Pokemon or even maybe Yu-Gi-Oh! Maybe My Hero's different, that focuses as much on the art and the theme and the lore as MetaZoo. None. There's not one.
I disagree with that.
Who?
I mean, sorcery, art, the entire thing on sorcery is art and feel and lore and telling a story with the game that you're playing. For Cryptic, they've got
they haven't printed a box yet.
They're working on it. You like? What do you want to not talk about it?
I'm saying, can we talk about a game that's actually printed a box? I guess I could have elaborated a game that actually exists. I apologize,
George. I think the argument comes with the majority of MetaZoo products that have the ability to make their way into people's hands are cards. The majority of MetaZoo products that exist in the world where people can have a chance to experience this awesome lore and awesome art are cards.
Yep.
That makes the cards and the box the core product.
No.
85% of the people that experience MetaZoo are going to experience that version of the product first.
I don't think
that's true, but like, even if it were true, I don't think that matters. Like, the Topps boxes are cards. They're not playable cards. The decks I have coming to me, they're playable as poker cards. Or as
I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about just the physical card itself. Right?
I think that what MetaZoo is selling is culture.
Yeah.
I think like that is I believe this now. Like that is MetaZoo's focus is culture. They want to see people who will never own a card. And this exists in Pokemon. They want to see people who will never own a card, but they have a MetaZoo backpack or they have a MetaZoo lunchbox, right? Like that's what they are selling is the brand. Yeah,
but they're not there yet. They don't exist as a culture yet. They're not there yet. So right now, the core product
they sold out of their eBay lunchboxes. They've sold out of their Revive boxes for the skateboards. They sold out of their rugs. They sold out of their backpacks. I mean, like they have the watches.
And again, I could be wrong. This is all my best.
Josh, I agree that they aren't there. My point is,
I think that's what they want to be.
That is their focus. Traveling. And as a store owner, that's a little frustrating. Like as a store owner, it's frustrating that UFO boxes aren't easier to sell, or that I have to worry about what the price is going to be on it. As a store, that's hard and that's frustrating. But seeing the larger picture, that there are so many people. A couple came in the other day at like 11 o'clock in my store. They drove 35 minutes to get to my store to come in and buy like they are making an impact in the culture. Like I think events and that stuff.
Sure.
People called me the other day. Hey, I saw your store in the store locator. When are you running MetaZoo events? Like they are starting to branch out. And I think that the new direction, I think last year, the last 12 months, the focus has been, hey, we're doing big events. We want stores to be running events. That's the big focus. I think the next focus over the next couple of years is going to be culture and that side of things.
Sure, and I'm not being a Debbie Downer. I'm saying that right now that's the product. If and when they achieve the culture and IP success that we think they're headed towards, then I think the box takes off on that train, right? Sure. It's pulled along and the card product. So I'm not sitting here saying things are dead or being negative. I'm saying I just don't think they're there yet. I think they're trending there. That's where they want to be. They're not there yet.
Cool. That's fair. They're not there yet. They are not where they want to be. If they were where they want to be, then Mike wouldn't be writing a story right now. He could be on a beach in Bora Bora. Like they're not where they want to be.
You don't know where he's writing the story from.
First of all, what a baller move. Write the story from Bora Bora.
Everyone, I think that it's been a long time. This is a long podcast. Thank you for watching us. If you're still all the way back here, thank you for watching us. You mean a lot to us. You do. Leave a comment in the comment section, hit the like button, hit subscribe, be around with us for the journey of TCGs in this world. Be kind to the people around you, and may the zoo be with you.
You nailed it. And also
you ruined it.
And you nailed it. Did you see how much I was thinking about it?
I did. You nailed it. I'm proud of you.
And I would I practiced it tonight. Like I practiced it.
God, you could probably edit that out. That's really embarrassing.
No. All right, everyone, be kind to the people around you. May the zoo be with you.
And also with you, beautiful. Great job.
And be kind to the people around you.